Okay, I'm trying to go live again. I just need to probably restart that. I just need to see whether or not I'm actually live. So just 1 second. If you're listening in and you're thinking you are live in Wilston, just give me a moment. Just need to see. That's okay. Okay then, I'm here. I don't know what happened there. I must admit, Ecamm is the streaming software I use on here. I have to say that it's always been very good. Whoops. But I don't know what happened there. It sort of like crashed and that was it. I couldn't get my camera on. I'm trying to sorry, this way. You can see I've got sort of like the chat up there now. I'm trying to move away from stream elements for everything. So there's going to be like a change in the startup screen and everything like that when I eventually get round to it. But this, I was watching an Ecamm video and this is how they suggest you put the chat on the actual screen, which is absolutely fine. I don't mind that at all. Let me just see what I can get working. So yeah, so it seems to be fine at the moment. There's my bot. My bot is up and running, which is good. I've actually tried with StreamerBot to log in a hey, Silver Fox. Is that what you look like, Mr. Silver Fox? I've never known what you look like. Is that you in the picture, or is it sort of like a famous film star that you're sort of like posing to be? Just popping in to listen. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. One of the things that I was going to ask is how's your treadmill going and your running? I think you were going to start running. So I was interested how that was going. And my bot said, welcome to you. So I'm trying to get Inico to work on here as well. But yeah, that's some years ago. You look mighty fine. You look mighty fine. An old picture is how many years ago. That's the thing. Anyway, thank you for coming along and signing in. So Ecamm, what I'm using at the moment, crashed to start off with, which was fair enough, and then I'm trying to get rid of stream elements. So trying to put this use Ecamm more. And StreamerBot, which actually runs on the computer behind me, which is my stream. That's where I stream from, back there. I'm normally faced the other way, but I want to use this setup for more like these GM prep, but also if I'm talking about things like editing and things like that, I can do it on this machine. So there's a bit of a change going on, but we'll get there in the end. But let's get straight to it, because there's 2 things I actually want to get done today. I want to work on classic fantasy in a short while, but the other thing I wanted to do was that I started down here a Stim Patches article, and I did this on stream, and we've got some ideas here, and I actually This morning when I woke up at 3:30 and couldn't sleep, I actually started to write down the rest of the rules about it, and I wanted to add a bit more to this just so I know it's on here. So the idea of the stim packs in M space would be something that the party can slap on to themselves in a case of emergency. But I also wanted to make sure that it was done in such a way that it could be addictive. So the more that they use them, the higher the possibility of the chance. And the first one that I wanted to look at were these stimulation options that removed fatigued. And I have to say, I was a bit cross with myself in the last adventure, because I had sort of like set up this idea that as they went through the swamp, they would get tired. And I wanted that to impact on the final battle, you know, that they were fighting with fatigue as well as, and they got round it very nicely, and it's completely my fault just by taking a rest, and that was it. And what I should have done is put something into the game that meant that they couldn't take a rest, or they were dissuaded to take a rest. So they actually removed their fatigue, but this would be another way. So in Mithras Fantasy, they removed their fatigue by a spell. They have a spell. So the idea here is that there might be some patches that they can slap on, hit a piece of skin, and it injects them with a dose of adrenaline. And I just need to check something. I have to say, I'm really cross with myself. I don't know whether or not you can see the top of that book. So it's actually on a bookcase really tightly in, and I put my finger over and pulled the top of it to pull it out, and it broke the cover. Can you see that? And I'm so cross, so cross with that. It annoys me. The dread idea is being sorted soon. Need to collab with my so hopefully in not so it sounds absolutely fantastic. Well done. Well done from getting on the running. I feel that I've started with you and Matt. I've started a little running group, a virtual running group. So fatigue, we use the same rules as in the master rule book. And there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there's 9 sort of like levels of fatigue, but I only want to go up to incapacitated. So incapacitated would mean that they're unconscious. After incapacitated, there's semi-conscious, comatose, and dead. Okay, so we're not bringing anybody down to the dead. So if we go with incapacitated, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels. Okay, then. So Stim Patches come in ratings 1 to 6. Each rating removes 1 level of fatigue in roughly 5 seconds. And that equals 1 combat round. I don't know if you've seen, and I don't know what Mission Impossible it is, but there's a wonderful Mission Impossible, and it's got a wonderful helicopter scene when they're flying through renewable windmills at one point. Anyway, they're going to rescue one of Ethan Hunt's proteges. They're somebody that they taught, and she's been sort of like captured, and she's all sort of like drugged and everything. And what they do is he goes up and he sort of like says, "This is going to hurt," and then he jabs her with adrenaline, and that sort of like boosts her up, and she goes on to get out. I mean, she's actually got a bomb inside her head, and it actually detonates and kills her. But it's the same sort of like idea that I want. You know, somebody falls unconscious, and somebody quickly gets the sim pack and whacks it onto it, and then within one combat round, the person goes and comes back, you know, and carries on fighting. So that's the idea. But then the bit that I've figured out is the possible addiction. Okay, so this requires an opposed roll of willpower. So I always put the if there's a characteristic or skill, I always put it in capital letters so we know what it is. The opposed roll, willpower versus the rating multiplied by 10. Okay. So that idea that so if they use a rating 6, which would bring them from incapacitated back up to working, then it would be their willpower roll versus 60%. Okay, then so what will happen is that they will roll their willpower, I will roll, as long as I get below 6, I'm within 60%, and it's the highest that I can possibly get. The highest wins. So if I win, they've started a level 1 addiction. If they win, they're fine. If repeated in same adventure, double the roll. So it'll be 2 times rating times 10%. So if they did it again, then it would literally be there for 120%. So they're literally asking for trouble. Then they can still resist addiction even if it's 120%, because a roll of 96 to 100 always fails in any case, just like a roll of 1 to 5 always succeeds. But remember, it's the highest that they get. So I could roll 120% to get 10%. They could roll 20% skill and succeed with a 19, and so they've got the higher roll, so they would be fine. Okay, then so therefore we've got then after that, each fail equals 1 level of addiction, and then each level of addiction is minus 1% to their wealth. So in the sense that if they're addicted at a level 1, then their wealth is a percentile score, so like 47. So at the end of every downtime, they will reduce that by 1%. So if they don't get money in, because they're literally spending the money, okay? And then each level times 10 equals percentage passion of, let me just move this up a bit for you, of criminal activity. So what that means is that if they've got a level 1 addiction, then it will be 1 times 10, so they'll have a 10% passion of criminal activity. So what that will mean is that that will be a negative modifier for them. So say, for example, when they land at a starport and there's a scan done, then for that person or for the whole ship, that will be seen as a negative modifier and reduce the rolls. Okay, and that's all that I had come up with for that at that present moment in time. But there is something else I want to add here. I put each fail 1 level of addiction, and I don't know whether or not it should be each time there's a chance of it, addiction. Chance of 1 level of addiction. Chance equals rating times 10. So there's either 10%, 20%, so forth, and so forth, and then that's it. So whether or not they succeed or not, that's what's going to happen. And then there's one more bit that I want to put in here. After 10 minutes, the stim patch effect is removed and the character will receive double the initial fatigue level for 6 hours. So they can do it once, but then after 10 minutes, the body literally shuts down and that's it. So they've literally got 10 minutes to get this person out and working, and then after that, woof, that is gone. Now, double the fatigue means that if it's just a level 1 fatigue, they're going to come back with 2 levels. But if there's 2 levels, they're going to come back with 4. Now, if this cannot go above incapacitated. So if they're incapacitated, they can't suddenly die because of it. So that's sort of like the start of the idea that I've got. And obviously what I need to do is tidy it up, but I wanted to get all this down before it sort of like fled my mind. And then what I do, just out of interest, I shared this with the party, the players, and they actually give their feedback on it and sort of like say what they think, etc. And then if we're all in agreement, then it will go into play, and that's it. But it is a matter of them deciding what they actually think, whether or not they agree with it. So there's really a sort of like a co-creation happening from beginning to end, this idea that it's not just them. And one of the really fun things about World Anvil, and why I love it so much, is that over here you can see sort of like above my head, you can see it's published, but you can see it's private, so anybody coming over the site cannot see this. But what I can actually do is click this, and now my players can see it. So when they log into World Anvil, they can actually see it. And this is how I operate the subs. You know, if people go along to the role-playing link and have a membership, then they get to see a certain level of the game. and they can see that, and they can follow, they can see the background, the organization, things like that. And as I said before, you know, oh, don't do that to me, World Anvil. That's not good. Oh, phew. So some of here there's, I mean, there is quite a, this is the adventure that we've just done. So they've just finished this adventure, so you can see all the levels, and I think it's red and higher now get access to those notes. Once I finish the adventure, I release it so they can actually see it and interact with it, which is brilliant. Okay then, so that's sort of like written down. I'm having real issues at the moment with combat in M Space. I've got ages to sort it out because we got at least two fantasy games to play, and then a Destin game at least before we're back. About choose location and critical successes and things like that. And the Discord that I'm a member of there is absolutely fantastic, and they give me so much information back that it's unbelievable. So I'm still battering my way through, and I have to admit that's what woke me up at 3:30 thinking about that. It's interesting that and this is why I sometimes I think I'm meant to be doing role-playing streams like this and working and streaming online and doing the podcast, because I wake up thinking about role-playing games. That's what I do all the time. I wake up getting new ideas, new rules, new ways to interact, new ways to change the actual play, and I get these ideas all the time. Well, other things, for example, talking about, say, successful streaming, I don't wake up thinking about it. It's always role playing. The other thing that I have to say is that this grenades thrown and powered is in the wrong that's in the wrong area, because this is classic fantasy, and I accidentally put it in here, so I need to sort of like change it over, you can see. Okay then, so let's go on to the actual adventure. So remember, if you're planning on playing this adventure, then now is the time to turn off, just like the stream and go off. But if you're not, if you're interested in the creative process, then that's what we're looking at today. So just to let you know, I always start off, let me just move on to this screen so you can see in action. So this is what I DM from. So this is the overview. This is the overview, and like I said, when I created this the first time, I could technically actually plan the whole adventure. I could run the whole adventure from these notes if I had to, but I much prefer being better prepared. So what I do then, down here you can see that I've got various plots, and these are the various bits that I click onto to DM it or GM it. So this is the first one. This is the challenge in the tavern that we did before. This bit here is what I'll read to the party. And then we've got some ideas down here that they can talk about, etc. And then down here, I put down this idea of this chapter will conclude when the characters head to their rooms for the night's sleep. And once we finish that, when I'm DMing it, I then press this button. It takes me back to the overview, and then I come back down and click on to the encounter with the shady person, which is the next bit. And so you can see this is what we did last week, and there's sort of like bits of information there that we can look at, etc. And then at the end of this, they'll wake up and start their journey. And this is where we finished off last week, in the sense that they started to head off onto their journeys. Right, so there is a bit that we need to do to start off with, because in this first sort of like here, there is the story about the mine, etc., etc. And then on here, on this idea of the challenge of the challenge in the tavern, I had left bits blank. So you can see here the story about the mine. So the first thing I want to do is in here, I think I put here. This is sort of like the idea about the challenge. So let me just copy that. What is the challenge? So that bit goes in there. And then there's the story about the mine. So this is the bit that gives me the information. And it's important here that what I'm not going to be doing is reading this out to the party. This is just for me. And what I'll do, because I know the background, I know the story, what I'm likely to do is, you know, put on an accent of an old withered man or a bard strumming at the fireplace and sort of like talk about it like that. We then got something here that says about previous attempts, and we have got that here. These are the previous attempts that we had already organized, so I can pop that straight into there, and then that's it. So that can now be saved. So I'll publish that. So nobody can see that at the moment, only I can see it. So we can close that. That is done as well. So this is the one that we're working on now. So this is when the party goes out, and we've already sort of like set the scene. As the party are leaving, the villagers come off to see them off. Some cheer, some cry, even run up to them and present them with bread, mature cheese, or a single dried flower. Soon after they have left the village, they look back and the people are all going about their daily business. This idea that they sort of like saw them off, but then they're not planning on seeing them ever again. So just to ensure that we know what's happening, this is when I'll go back to my overview here. World Anvil's been incredibly slow tonight, which is never good when you're streaming. Oh, here we go. So here we go. So I'd already put some notes in about the journey. Tracks in snow, so it's in the middle of winter at the moment. Something quite big, howls of wolves at night, possible attack by a lone injured wolf, sense of being watched or followed, never been able to identify anyone, fleeting shadows is all I see. And this is because when they come out of the mine, they're going to think that the adventure is over, but then there's another encounter just as they come in. So let's add some details here. Okay then, so let's just call this one as they travel. So what I do now is that I write notes, and this is important to me because I don't want to waste I don't want to read. I never want to read to the players unless it's a scripted part. I want to communicate it however I see fit. And so it might be that, you know, this journey might not happen right at the beginning. It might happen halfway through. But what I write is notes to remind me about what to say. Sometimes if I want to get across a specific feel, a specific atmosphere, that I might jot down words that I'm going to use, just so I don't have to think on the spot and say, oh, it's cold, you know, and things like that. The other thing, if you were with me last week, I'm a great believer of the writing style, or the writing technique, should I say, of showing rather than telling. So rather than saying it's cold or it's very cold, I'll say some things. As you tramp through the snow, you realize that your toes and the ends of your fingers are starting to go numb. Anybody with a beard finds that particles of frost and snow have started to encase or encrust the outer layers. So I'm not saying to them it is cold. What I'm doing is that I'm showing what's happening and allowing them to hopefully pick up the mental imagery there. So that's a good thing that I can put down here. So I can put something like, okay, then I need to emphasize the weather, cold, snowy, frosty. So is this idea limited visibility? And I think it was Clarence Red who once said, I think it was Clarence, or it might be the person who wrote the combat modules, which might have been Clarence Red again. He said to me, one of the things he said to me is that the most important thing about any encounter in any role-playing game is not the monsters, it's the actual situation. And a monster can look completely different in a different situation. And one of the things I like to go back to is a Mithras encounter when the party are climbing up at the cliffs and they get attacked by sort of like basic birds. But that, if that happened, you know, down on the ground, it would have been nothing. But because they're hanging on with one hand, trying to keep on the ropes, and the birds are attacking, that's what makes the combat exciting. That's what makes it the threat, not the birds. They are just another element of the combat. But the thing that really makes it more exciting or more scary is the situation. And that's what I wanted to do here, because a lot of fantasy adventures, they start off and there's a merry romp through the forest, you know, it's nice and sunny, etc. They're skipping away, and I thought, okay, then let's make it cold. Let's make it cold and freezing. That's also a reason why anything that's in the mine are deep within the mine. They're literally, you know, keeping warm, and that's important. So what I like to do now is that I know I'm going to emphasize it, and this is when I'll jot down some of those ideas that I sort of like put up. This idea of numb fingers and toes, can't feel them, snow or ice crystals forming on beards and exposed hair, face and any other exposed skin, biting cold wind, swirls of falling and whipped up snow. So that bit, I'm hoping they're going to think about the visibility. So hopefully you can see that from the one above, that's what I'm trying to emphasize. And then I've just made some notes to help me. And I am blessed with the fantastic group of role players. And what they do really, really well is that they feed off my narrative. You know, so they'll feed off that. And when I start to say, you know, your fingers and toes will start to become numb as you traipse through the snow, I can guarantee one of them would say something like, whenever we stop, I'm going to make sure that I stamp my feet on the ground or bury my hands deeper into my jacket, under my jacket, or something like that. And I think good role players feed off what you're giving them. And as you give them something, they take it and act on it. Okay, people who are not sort of like immersed in the game will just sort of like say, yeah, 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 and then that'll be it. They're not actually picturing the sort of like the atmosphere, the scenario. They're just sort of like saying, yeah, yeah, okay then, right, okay then, shall we roll for initiative? They're just sort of like they're still on that element of these are characters rather than we're playing these characters. And that leads to we are these characters. And I'm not saying they're going to be there stomping through or anything or doing the actions, but the way they act, you know. And some of them might say things like, oh, when I huddle round, you know, make sure that the warm water in my hand, you know, I really get close down and try to stop my teeth chattering. And they are then showing me how they're reacting to that environment. And I do think this is when some GMs, and I don't actually subscribe to it myself, often gives inspiration dice or inspiration points to good role players. And I see that as a little bit counterintuitive, because as soon as you start singling one person out, it's basically either saying the rest of you are not doing this or you need to up your game. And I don't like doing that, but I just like the players to sort of like interact. And I have to say, if there's somebody who's very quiet, who's not immersing themselves in the role, then that's fine. I'm not going to say, what are you doing? You know, I'm letting those people who really want to be immersed to immerse themselves. And I must admit, the limited time I've played, I appreciate that when I can get immersed into the actual game. So that's the coldness that I want to sort of like maintain. And the next thing I want, wrong actual, oh, we can put it above, it's all right. We've now got, let me just select all that and put that in another paragraph. So we've got that there. Howls of wolves. Now this has just reminded me of something else, and this is why it's always good to have something to sort of like go back to, because I feel what I need to put, and maybe I can put it, I think I'm going to pop it in this challenge in the tavern, because what I want to put in here is almost like here, wrapped up warm, take position, Nova, So here I want to add another part and say the cold weather has brought packs of wolves down towards the lower mountains and hills. So I'm actually almost like setting it up there that I can say this, so when they actually hear the wolves howling, they get, hi, all right, yeah, no worries, Darth, thank you for coming along, I really do appreciate that. Enjoy your raid, hope it goes well, hope you get best in slot. Well, thank you. So that idea that the cold weather's brought the wolves down, there might be some people talking about it, which means that I can bring it in here. Okay then, so we got the House of the Wolves. Distant howls. Some tracks in the snow can be detected by anyone with a suitable skill. So I'm not saying you must have tracking. It'll be up to the players. And again, my players will say, I would like to use so-and-so to see if I can. You know, and then I might say, yeah, that's really good, but that's going to be a hard roll. And you hear Mr. Pickles saying it a lot. He says, yeah, that's understandable. It's not a case of, no, hang on a minute. I think it should be easy. Because that sort of like spoils the flow. It interrupts the flow. And one thing that I did last night that I realized I did wrong is that I made a decision that there was no way Hammond could fire from a tree. And I quickly reversed that because I suddenly thought, hang on a minute, Hammond wants to do something, so you should give him the option whether or not it's possible. You know, so it's almost like, okay, then if you roll this successfully, there is a place in the tree, rather than me as the GM making the decision. And that's something else that I always try to do. If they bring up something that I don't know or I haven't made notes about it, I don't automatically say no. What I tend to say is, okay, then, well, let's see whether or not you can. Now, obviously, if there's something there that I know they can't do, then I will state it. You know, and then that's it. But I don't like just saying you can't do that. I like to almost like provide some kind of real justification to it. Okay then, so this is it. And this is where I'm going to bring in the possibility of a lone wolf attack here. Party will come across an area. Look, I can't even do basic grammar. An area of blood-soaked, blood-stained snow. This was a place where a what kind of animal? A female deer was taken down by a small pack of wolves. However, one of the wolves got injured and is lurking nearby. So the idea of this is I want them to have a battle because what they're what the characters need at this point is to have a bit of combat. They need a bit of action. There's been a lot of skill rolling so far. We've had a lot of role play in the tavern. We've had some immersive role playing, and they need a bit of combat now. And this will be the first time that they try their characters out. And I put it as an injured wolf, so it's not on full hit points. And don't tell them this. Don't tell them this at all. But what I will do is secretly adjust it. Okay, so if the first person comes up, does a mighty swing and kills it, then at that point I might say the wolf lets out a yowl of pain as you slam your hammer into it and send it, do a bit of knockback 2 meters away. And then I might say, could you everybody roll a perception, please? And then say that they notice wolves coming in from either side. Can you see what I mean? So I can adjust the encounter to match what's going on. But I'm not a strong believer in there are 8 of these. What I want to do is see, I don't know how the party are going to engage. I know a lot more when we're playing M Space now and Destined and Mithras. I know then how many I can use. But on this game, I'm not too sure. I don't know how they're going to react. I don't know what they're going to do. So I have that option. The wolf is in pain but hungry and is willing to take a chance. There is the possibility of more wolves appearing if needed. Okay, and that's all I need for that. Now, of course, on roll 20. So if I go to roll 20, let me just sign in to roll 20. Hopefully, if I get my master password correct. Oh, right, so I need to type it in. This is when, this is, oh, there we go, it's saved there. Let's pop it in there as well. So this is roll 20, so this is what we use. And this is where we will have the scenario. So if this is what I see, what you see. You've seen this this sort of like side of things before if you watch the live stream. So I have all these options. I still don't know how to get rid of Medivac from there. I really don't know how to get rid of him. I must see how to do that. I can drag him off and onto another one, but I can't seem to remove him. I found out how to get him there, but now I can't seem to get him off. So I'm not too sure how I get him off there at all. I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to cheat look. I'm going to create a blank one, drag him across onto it, and then what happens if I actually delete that? There it goes. Ha ha! Ha ha! I've got it. Okay, so what I'll do here, so I've still got all this to do, and we could be playing next Saturday. So I need to get my acting gear, but I don't need to do all the adventure because we won't get that far. So what I'll do is that I'll look for I'll start a new sheet here, a new and call this. Now I do have so we can start here by the tavern, because I do have some taverns already. So if I go to maps and type in tavern, I've got some really nice taverns that actually show oops, let me just move that up here. Is it in here? Yeah. So can you see here? I've got some taverns that are actually, I'm sure I've got a tavern that has snow outside. I'm sure of it. This is Tranquil Taverns 2. These are sort of like the second floor. So I will look in here and sort of like find a suitable tavern and sort of like drag it across. So for example, these are first floors, second floor, cellars, second floor. Okay, then let's if we sort of like pull this on. Okay, then so this might be the starting tavern. I actually have these are not the ones that I was thinking about. I've actually got some other taverns that are that I like better. What's this one? This is the I might use something like this. This is absolutely fine. It'll be a nice little part. And then what I do with this, so if I show you here, so this will go down onto the map layer, so it's solid now. So I can go down to the map layer here, and we can just drag it out like so. Okay, and notice now that it's changed the background to match it. And then the other thing I will do then is also change this board color here. We might actually move it down a bit more like that. I'm just wondering how much is up at the top, because we might be able to stretch it out like that. So that's nice. And then you can see that the party really only need to be in this front bit. So what I then do is that I then put something known as dynamic lighting on it. So with the lighting, what I do is that I come on here and I draw lines. Right, hang on, let me just increase this line. Can you see it now if I zoom in? So this is all the prep that I need to do beforehand. So you can see here that it says wall. There's also transparent. So for example, if I click on to do I want it to restrict their movement? Yes. And then I might change this to yellow, and this is a window. Oh, hang on, I need to stop that one. So that's now transparent, which means that what will happen is that the party can see through that. But if it was just like a normal wall, so say for example I was going from here to here, they can't see through that. So what I actually have to do is go around everything like this. Oh, hang on, let's just go back a bit. I don't think my pen tool is working how I want it to work. But you can get the general idea. Then here I put lanterns down like this that actually then give off light. So I have to create all of this before the party actually comes on. So you can see now this is how the lighting will work. Okay then, so back to the adventure. So the rules will be in here. So I will have a token in here that has monsters on, and I'll be able to drag the wolf in, and I'll create another scene that says snowy travel, and then that will be all that then done as well. So I don't need to put any information about that here. That doesn't need to go here at all. We might, after I've done this journey one, we might go back and finish that off just so I've got it. Okay then, is there anything else that we said that we might have on the overview? So let me just go back to the overview. Journey, tracks in snow, possible lone moves, sense of being watched and followed, fleeting shadows. So we got to enter that into here as well. And you might, to be honest with you, you might be saying at the present moment in time, inwils, you remember that we just talked about it. I won't, because it might be we could play this on Saturday. It might, if somebody can't make Saturday, it'll be 2 weeks time and I will have forgotten everything. Are we being followed? Question mark. Okay. So now we come down onto my paragraph. There will be a number of times that perception rolls will be asked for. The party, I can't put a capital letter in there to save my life. The party, isn't it interesting that even though it's not an official document, I still need to make sure I've got capital letters. The party will gain a sense that they are being watched or followed. This will include possible movement in the dark forest. Always happening in their peripheral vision. Okay, now this is when I don't trust myself, and this is when I start to think, okay then, inwils, write some things down so you're prepared. So what I'm not going to say you think you're being followed, or you get the sense that something is being watched, that would be telling them. What I'm going to do is show them. Snow laden branch flicks back up, causing snow to fall onto the ground. There is the sound of crunching snow from within the surrounding forest. Birds suddenly take flight and fly out of the forest and across the path. I like that one. Movement catches your eye from within the forest, but when you turn to look, nothing is moving. Yellow eyes watching you momentarily, but they blink and are gone. Okay, then that gives me plenty to go at there. Okay then, so then the next bit is arriving at the mine. After the end of the second day, you arrive at the entrance to the mine. Snow lays thick on the ground and no light comes from within the entrance. There is the absence of sound around the mouth of the mine. Old wooden planks lie on the ground, broken and splintered. Unfamiliar mounds of snow are present. Could these be overturned minecarts or something more sinister? Okay. And then we've finished this by saying this chapter, will end when the party are ready to enter the first level of the mine. And then just here we also need to put this code round here. Like so. And that should center all that. Okay, then we've got some, let's just publish this. So publishing it, remember, nobody can see it because it's private, only I can see it at the moment. And let's just look. And this is when I get very, I need it to look right for me, if that makes sense. I need it to look right so I can pop things on it. Now, just to let you know, down here, you might see that we've got a section. And these are these sections. So if I write in it, this is the top section, like that. If I save that, and then if we just refresh that, you should see it coming up here. So what I tend to do and put in here is any imagery that I want to share, mainly just for me, so it reminds me of what is happening. And one of the things that I've been using a lot for this is Adobe Firefly. So this has a wonderful text to image here. So we can actually generate from this. So let's click generate. And then here, I don't know if you can see that, I think mine entrance. In a snowy landscape. Okay, so I might ask it to do this, and then it might provide me with some artwork that I can sort of like use. Okay, then, so something like this. This one is quite nice. I quite like that one because it's going into the actual mine, and it looks quite nice. And we can actually sort of like change the feel of it. If we want. Some of these are really nice, but I don't like it that you can see through. This sort of one is my favorite one at the moment. I'm not too keen about this in the beginning. So what I can do is I could then take this, I think, and drag to make the selection. So I can sort of like do that. And then here it's saying, what do you want it to be filled with? And I could put snow. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's done a bit of a mess here. It might be that I do something better with Photoshop with its generative fill. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, let's don't know why it's done that. Okay, let's just clear it. Let's do it again. Just want this bit gone, really. I'll just put deep snow to see what it comes up with. I'm happy with that. We've got some options. I actually prefer that one because you can see how deep it is. Okay, so what I can do then is that I can download this, and then what I can actually do is that I can upload this. So if I go to my downloads here, let's just change this because this is in list view. Let's change it to icons. Here it is. We can open that. Okay, we can save that, and then this tag here I can take and pop here. Okay, so that can now be closed, and that can be saved, and then when I refresh this, as you can see, I've now got that picture there. Let me just flick over to the other side and you can see it there. And then what I can do now is that I will upload that to Roll20 as well and show them the entrance. And this is the height of role-playing now, because when I first started to do role-playing games, you know, we had to draw everything. Everything needed to be drawn. 1 second. But now we can generate these images. We can make them really specific and then share them with the party. Okay, so they're instantly getting that that visualization. It's not perfect. It is not perfect, but it's not meant to be perfect. That's what I always say. So here, what I can do now is in my library, we can upload that that picture again, and that will appear on here, and then I will be able to share it with the party. Okay, now the other thing that's really annoying me at the moment, I don't know whether or not I like this in. I think we might go for it. Let me just see if I can get rid of that, and let's see if we can get this lighting done properly. So I like to put red round the walls. Now what I don't know is, I think I might have to do that. So you'll see this working in a moment when I get round to the various points. Okay then, so that's the lighting done on that area. So what I will do now is that I make sure that the dynamic lighting's on. Okay, and we can save that. Okay then, so let me just so you can see how it actually works. Let me just grab a token. So let's take this character here that didn't come on for some unknown reason. Oh, hang on, I've got to be on the token layer. Now let's drag it on. You will come onto this layer even if it kills me. Right, why is it not doing that? I'm on the token layer. It should come on from here, but it doesn't seem to want to. Okay, then let me see if we can why is it not coming onto that layer? That's all selected. Right, that should work. Yeah, there we are. So we have this person on here. Okay, so if we go onto here and turn their dynamic lighting on, so for example, if I just leave it now and go into this token, you can see that it can't see anything at all. There's nothing there. So we have to enable its vision. So now it can see, but there's nothing for it to see. So here we have some tables. So what I will do, I will go on to my lighting one and I will place this here. Now what I can do with that is open it up. So currently it's saying bright light for 20 feet and then low light for another 20 feet. So if I take that off, we've just got low light for 20 foot. So if I now go back to my token layer and look at this character, you can see now that they can see that table. Okay, so what I can do now is go back to my light area and take this, and then I can start cutting and pasting it onto these other tables. I think I might have two there. Yeah, I do. Okay, and then up here we've got a fire, so I'll paste one there as well. Okay, so now if we go back onto the token layer, this is what they're seeing. Okay, so you can see now that as the player moves around, they can see what's around. But here's the important thing. Okay, so down here, if I move down here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this character like a torch. Okay, so we just say that it emits low light in like 10 foot, say. Okay, so now you can see that as it moves around, it's got its own light. Now down here, look. Can you see, because the on the lighting layer, let's just stop that preview. Because down here we've got that line, the character cannot see through that wall. So remember where that line is. So if I go back to this layers and we start to be this character, notice it can't see what's in there. It can't see it at all. However, if it comes down here, can you see we don't have any lighting layers there, so it can actually move through it. So what we can do now, if I just exit this preview, if I go back to my lights, let's change this to a yellow, and let's say this is transparent. And what I'm going to do is actually put in this window. Okay, so now if I go back to the layers, so I'm on this character again, I go to preview. Can you see as I come to this, I can see out? Okay, here I can see through the wall, but here I can't, because this is a window. The other nice thing about this, if I just go up to the top, the other nice thing about this is that the character cannot move through that wall. Can you see it's actually restricting their movement? So they can't go. They can go down here and into here, but that's it. But this wall restricts their movement. So it's really giving them this immersive feeling. Now that's how this guy has actually got light. He's got vision. He has to have vision, or she has to have vision, but they're not emitting light. So that's what they'll see. We see this. As a GM, I see everything, but they're actually just seeing that. And that's why sometimes I click the view to show you on stream what they're actually seeing. So I'm liking this this map so far. So let's just quickly, so this needs to go back to red, and we need this to be a wall, and we need to pop a wall, oops, like here. Okay, and then we will go back to this, press yellow, go to transparent, and put in there. Okay, and then as I go back to it, it'll change it to a line. And then along here we've got some more. Let's put in the windows first, because we're on there. So there's one window. Now it's interesting, because when I used to do this beforehand, I used to be able to do one and then double click that and come off it, but I think they must have changed that. I think they must have changed that, or I need to go back and check. So as you can see, I spend a huge amount of time not only writing the adventure, but also prepping for the adventure. And I know the players appreciate it. You know, they definitely appreciate it. But I just want people to know that it's not just writing the adventure. There's a huge amount more that we do as GMs to actually make sure that the game runs smoothly, and also give the characters that immersive feeling of the game, you know. And I often think that's so important for them, that they get the feeling that it's not just a map or a floor plan. It's something that is actually alive and working. Okay, so there we are. We've got that done now, so we can come back to this person And if we come here, they don't have any light at the moment, so if we get them to emit bright lights, just so you can see the effect. You can see here that they can look through the windows, but the wall stops them, if you can see that. They can't go through the windows or the walls, but they can look outside if they wish, right the way around. Now you might be thinking, okay then, so what about the door? So what I do with the door, let's see if we can find the door here. Let me just end that preview. Let's see if we can, whereabouts is the door, because I don't have a door at the moment. That's a bit bad, isn't it? I can't actually see. I think one of these must be the door. I'm thinking probably oh, this one's the door. This one's not a wall. This one's a door. So what I do here is that I take it off like that. I come on here, I change it to green, I say it's a wall, and I do something quite strange. I do click, click, and then click, like that. Okay, so what this allows me to do, where did I leave the token? Let's go back to the token layer. Here she is. So this is the door here. So if we preview her now, can you see she can't see through the door? She can't see through that at all. But when the door opens, I can go to the light layer. I can pick this up, or should be able to pick it up and move it. And then on the token layer, if we now preview her, can you see she can now see out? Okay, so that's how I do it. And I just, to be honest with you, I put on this little green bit here just so it's easy for me to pick it up. That's why I do it, just to get that and be able to pick it up, and then that's it. So that's how I would go around and do the whole monster, the whole tavern, to get it all done. And then they naturally don't see this because they're always on that layer. GM layers is when I can see it but they can't. And then so if I was to swap this, I can swap this layer here. I can put it onto the GM layer. Now they won't see that until I actually reveal it. So it's a good way that I can have all my monsters in place, press a button, and then they all appear. Okay then, so we've done well here today. We have now got all three done and dusted. And so we're now ready to go into the mine. And what I'll need to do for that is create some more maps. And I do actually, this is one of the reasons I am using, I know that I've got mined maps of mines. So I've bought all these. You buy them off the marketplace. So over the years I've just purchased a whole load of these. So can you see I've got things like this, okay, which is like a pre-made mine. Okay, now what I will probably do with this is also go away and put dynamic lighting on it. to make sure that the feel of it is right. So we pop it there and stretch it out like so. Notice that it's going off. So what I can do within the pack, I can sort of like grab a boulder like this and add it to there to sort of like block that off so they can't see it. And then the other thing that I will do, I will put this all on the map layer. So when I do map, you notice everything else a change, and then all I need to do is put the dynamic lighting on this so they can see it. And that's what I'll do. I'll go forward more and create the maps, put the dynamic lighting on, get my tokens and put them in, and then see what's going on and see how it's going to be quite linear. So they might come in this way, and that might be the exit up at the top, and I might block everything else off because I don't want it to be too complicated. It's going to be quite a linear adventure. And then what I'll do is that in the actual world anvil is that I'll do a page on, well, let's create those pages now so we've got them. So we've got journey to the mine there. So let's go back to my articles. So the other thing that I need to do here that I forgot, this is dig deep one. I forgot to add these last time, and that's only so I can see. You'll notice now that when we look at all the articles, they'll come up separately, but I know that they're all the dig deep one. So this one I'll put dig deep 2. That one could be published because I've done that one. And then let's go into this one. So this will be dig deep 3, and we'll save that one. And then we're going to make some more up now. We're going to make, so there's 3 levels of the mine. So I'm going to make another plot. I'm going to call this DD, dig deep 4, level 1 of the mine, like that. And then in this navigation, what I'm going to say is that the parent choice is dig deep overview, and the position for this, the weight is 600. So remember, it's 10, take away that 4. It's 1000, take away that 4. And what that means that it will happen is that if I save it and go back to my articles, you'll notice here that it's down here now at level 4, 4 part level 1 of the mine. So we got to do level 1. We also have a dig deep 5, level 2 of the mine, and then we're going to navigation, make sure it's in dig too deep, and then this will be 500, change it to publish and save it. And then we I always like to make sure they're all lying properly. And then next it will be dig deep 6, level 3 of the mine, and then we'll sort that out so it's in the right place, and that would be 4,400. Save that. And then so after that we need 2 more. We need 2 more articles to finish off the adventure. So this would be 7 outside the mine once more. And so this is going to be here, and this would be 300, and save that, and that should be lying nicely in here. And then we need one more to finish off the adventure, and that will be DD 8 conclusion. And that will be everything that sort of like finishes off that'll be anything that I need at the end of the adventure to give them rewards or whatever, etc, etc. So now if I come back onto here and go into the dig too deep, you'll notice down here that I've got everything there. That's a whole adventure, so I can click backwards and forwards through this throughout, so I can go from one to the other and fill it in. There is something that I need to do with all of these. There is something else, because in the design here I need to make sure, what did we call the picture? Flip. Because the others have a picture here, but I can't remember what I actually called it. That's bad, isn't it? So this is what it is. Let me just images, here we are. Let's see what it's called. Did I call it GM Prep? I think I must have called it GM Prep, which is a bit of a pain, which is not really good. You should do you should name your pictures better than that. So level 1 of the mine, and this one. Design, let's see whether or not it picks it up. Yeah, there it is. And that'll save it, and that will pop it. So if I view this one now, whoops, I've gone on to viewing the world. If I go down here, go back up to the main one, and then if we go to level 1 of the mine, there it is, all done and dusted. Hello, Matt. How are you doing? We've just stopping by. Hi, Rodney. Anybody who's in chat, Rodney Leary is the line manager for Classic Fantasy. So he is the person responsible for the wonder that is Classic Fantasy and Classic Fantasy Imperative. So we've actually got the creator of the game in the actual chat at the moment, which is brilliant. So let's do a quick recap before I head off. So Roll20, this is starting to take shape. We've got the this is going to be the inn at the beginning, and this has got all the dynamic lighting on. So if I just bring this person to the token layer and pretend that we're her, we can see that we've got all the dynamic lighting on. So when they come up here, they don't go through the walls, but they can go through the doors. And then down here, if they come down here, they can actually, oops, I didn't mean to stretch her like that. She can look through the windows. The door is shut at the moment, but we can open that and let the light out if we need to. She's actually got, this token's actually got light at the moment. So if I just turn that off, this is what they'll see. So each one of these, if I go to the light layer, you can see, and just stop that, you can see that I've put all the torches on here, done all the outside. I don't think I'm going to bother with these here because I don't think they'll actually get there at all. This actually needs to be round the other way. Let me just revolve that, reflect it round so it's like that, and then pop it back in there. We'll try that for a while and see how it goes. I might need to change this angle here. So that's all set up. I think I'm going to just, it's not actually in the actual lighting, but I think I'm going to put some lights over here, just so it lights up that that bar like that, so they can see the bar. And I've put a big one over here by the fire, so the fire is giving out lots of lovely heat for them. So that's all done and dusted. We have finished off, this is now all, we've just got the mine to do. So we've started on, I've got to find a snowy scene for here, but we've started planning out the map here for the mine. So that's done. That all needs dynamic lighting on, but it's virtually first level is done. And we've started here to, we've got all this still to do, but what we have done now is that we've done this journey to the mine. So we've written all this, focusing on showing rather than telling. The italics are here for things to remind me of things to do and things to say if I need to. And then we've used AI to create this picture here, which gives an idea about the entrance to the mine. And we've used, literally we have used AI, Adobe Firefly, to create that and then adjust it how we see fit. I might change it back to that one. I do like this deep snow here. I really like that, so we'll put some more of that. This is way more impressive than writing a book. Wouldn't even, I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would. I often think, I don't think I'm a very creative person naturally, but when I start creating adventures, I feel that my creativity comes out a bit, you know, so I can start to write all this down. And then remember, we've all previously, if you watched the other videos, we've already done the inn. So we've got here, this is what I will quote this, I will read it to them, and we've got all this all done and dusted. So yeah, it's been a good evening work. I've still got loads to do. We're thinking that we finished M space now, so the next one that we will be doing will be classic fantasy. We're going to create the characters using classic fantasy imperative live on stream, and then go straight into the adventure. So if all goes well, next Saturday, 7 o'clock GMT time, oh sorry, BST time still, on Twitch, we'll start creating the characters. Mithras Imperative is out now. If you go to the Design Mechanisms store, you can download it for free as a PDF. If you want a printed version, then you obviously have to pay for that, but you can go and download that free now. And we are using the rules from that book. Okay, we're not using anything from, I've got like the full version. I'm not using anything from here. I'm just using the rules from the book. And I was going to do a published adventure, but then I thought doing it this way, everybody can watch it, because otherwise I'll be always saying, if you're planning on running this adventure, stop watching now, which is it. So thank you for coming along and watching tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, this will be up on YouTube straight away. I'll do the thumbnail before I head off to bed tonight, later on. So that will all be ready for you to watch. Thank you to everybody who's liked the video. That really does help. And feel free to come back and put comments in underneath the video when it's live. If you supported me this weekend, I really do appreciate it. It's really fantastic to have you around and participating and listening, so huge thanks for that. And I hope you've enjoyed all the streams over the weekend from Starfield, ESO and role-playing games throughout these last 2 days. I might be streaming on Twitch during the week. I'm back at work now, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, keep an eye out. I might pop up and do a quick stream sometime during the week. If not, I will see you all next Saturday, bright and early, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock for some Starfield next Saturday. Until then, look after yourselves, everybody, and stay safe and healthy, but most importantly, stay positive. And I hope all your post rolls reward you with a well-deserved special. Okay, happy Mithrasing, everyone. See ya. Bye. Ending.